Formula 1 arrives in Baku for the 7th round of the 2021 season, with the main news being that none of the 10 teams brought any upgrades to Baku, partly due to the new token system in force, reducing upgrades in the progress up to the 2023 regulation change. Red Bull, however, said that they were hoping that their engine would be able to be better around here, like it was Austria, and are hoping for a big result for both Verstappen and Norris. They do hope that finally Norris will be able to settle in the team and get a good result in the deep inside the top 10 ahead of the Porsches, which seems to be Red Bull's new target. Meanwhile, Jaguar said that they've got some major upgrades coming for the Japanese Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas says that the car has looked quick at times in qualifying, but its race pace has looked quite poor. However, with most races the Jaguars of Bottas and De Vries struggling towards the back most of the time, even getting lapped by the leaders. Mercedes, of course, had originally planned to bring in a tyre wear upgrade to counteract the constant barrage of them making last lap pit stops. However, after a late testing failure, this was pushed back and will be arriving instead at the following race in Singapore. But Mercedes also said they needed to work on their race pace, as it seems they have another front row lockout once again in Baku, Hamilton taking pole ahead of Van Dorn in second. The chasing pack are closer than usual, with Russell only 3/10 back in third place ahead of the two McLarens, and Sebastian Vettel all separated by half a tenth. A great job also from Max Verstappen, only be 7/10 off in the Red Bull, so and shine they're completely improving, with Norris quite some way away from his teammate in terms of time. Perez, disappointment for him, he only starts 11th ahead of Gasly and Schumacher in 12th and 13th. Those two very happy to be that high up ahead of both Alpines, and one of the Ferraris of Charles Leclerc. Disappointing qualifying from him compared to his teammate up in the top 10. And at the bottom, Valtteri Bottas is the Jaguar this time that gets ahead of both of the two Dragons. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1-E 2021 mod. Today we're doing the 7th round at Baku, a track that has seen quite a lot of carnage in the previous two seasons, so we'll have to wait and see if we get a similar level of carnage in today's video. But before we go on, if you have not yet subscribed, then please do. It's the big red button on the video. It massively helps me out and sustain the channel. We're currently aiming for 500 subscribers before F1 2021 comes out. I'm currently on 405 subscribers, so if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. As I said, it does help me out in making the channel better as well, in that respect. But anyway, to Baku, we're starting P4, it's lofty heights here. We've yet to have a pole. This is the only series that I've actually taken multiple poles in, having done so in season 2. But not so yet, but it doesn't matter. We'll see if we can get the victory. From 4th on the grid, 5 red lights, and away we go. And it's initially a good start, better than Van Dorn on the front row. And we go down the inside of Van Dorn, Russell on the outside of Van Dorn, but Van Dorn comes back at us into turn 1 and moves ahead of us rather annoyingly. And there's a yellow flag behind us, and this is what was caused it. Nick De Vries start on the hard tyres as well, and he gets caught up behind one of the Dragons, and Nick De Vries is out. That's going to cause a virtual safety car. As the FIA think they can get that car out of the way by the time we come out. But you can already see on the minimap, Hamilton is sprinting away at the front. We do have a lead over him, which is not within a race win plus pole position plus fastest lap distance. But there, of course, he's sprinting away from George Russell, who is now in second place. Hopefully George can stay there. He's done well this season, despite the fact he's had the cars let him down a few times, which is why he's lower down in the championship, as Russell now is going defensive against Van Dorn, and he's been forced out by Van Dorn into turn 2. Can we get involved in the action? Van Dorn's got DRS on Russell. Russell now is going to go. We're going to try and go down the inside of Russell. Got to slow it down in time not to go in the back of Van Dorn. We just do that, and it's a nice move. Get us up onto the podium. Yeah, Russell did try and squeeze us, but we just squeezed him out in the end. That will allow Ricciardo to have a little look at Russell, but nothing doing there. Hopefully Ricciardo can sort of be our rear gunner now. He's a little bit too far away. He's also suffered a little bit of issue with retirements. But end of lap 4, we're coming in, taking a pit entry a lot faster than Van Dorn did. Maybe the tyre wear getting to the Mercedes. We know that their tyre wear upgrades did fail, so which is why they're not on the car for this weekend. And there we go. It's not even close. I mean, you know, you have those ones where you pull out in the pits and it goes to you, but it's not even close there. We're out comfortably clear Van Dorn, thanks to the pit crew there. Well, good job there. Russell has dropped to P4, so we've jumped him as well. Van Dorn comes out behind one of the Alpine cars, but then I think that he gets ahead. The Alpine isn't that great. We're now coming up behind Charles Leclerc. He started on the hard tyres as well, had a poor qualifying, and we almost go in the back of the other Alpine. I think that's Alonso as well. So we watch Sebastian Vettel. He's closing up on... Oh, Vettel's lost it! Didn't he do something like this in... I'm pretty sure he did something like this in Project Phoenix, as that's an illegal overtake for a Porsche car there, but we'll gloss over that. I'm sure the game didn't give him a penalty. But anyway, that brought out the safety car, the full course safety car this time, and it's going to allow Daniel Ricciardo to jump us in the pit. So Ricciardo is effectively P2. We've got Gasly, who is actually P2, yet to stop, and Hamilton is in the lead. We're going to go down the inside of Ricciardo. We've been teeing up. He's not pulling to the inside. We're going to dive down the inside of Ricciardo, move up into P3, and hopefully we can bring Ricciardo with us, you know, to attack Hamilton with 2 McLarens, as opposed to having... because Van Dorn is quite some way behind. Now we're looking at Gasly though. He's starting those hard tyres. He's looking to go a long time there. He squeezes us to the inside there. It's a very tight racing between myself and Gasly, who hasn't had a good time of it since, I believe, Canada, where he was in the point, deep inside the points, like P6 or something, and then he retired and hasn't been in the points since. But obviously Van Dorn is getting on with it while we were getting on with it, and he's going around the outside of Charles Leclerc, who's a little bit of a lock up there for Van Dorn, but he should be able to do that, and he is up another position. And now Russell will look to capitalise as well in the one remaining Aston Martin, but it's not so long for Gasly. He hasn't really got the pace to contend with the pace of the McLaren, and it's a nice little move round the outside for Ricciardo. And now we've got Russell and Van Dorn going either side of Gasly, and I think it's a straight line drag race between the Aston Martin and Mercedes of Russell versus the Mercedes of Van Dorn, and Van Dorn gets the outside, and then we'll keep the position for now, which is P4. But Russell isn't going to keep up. We move later on into the race. Obviously Gasly's been dropped because he is not that DS Chachita isn't a great car, so he's done well to be that high up, although he is yet to stop. I think we got a Porsche coming in the background, but there is Russell going past Van Dorn. Van Dorn coming back at Russell will have the outside line on Russell, which will turn to the inside of the next corner, and Van Dorn eventually does lose the position on the next straight. And because of these two fighting, Pascal Wehrlein, who has been nowhere in this race, is all of a sudden now is closing in on them. He's ahead of the Red Bulls, and Wehrlein gets ahead of Van Dorn. But unfortunately, it's absolute heartbreak for Verline, because he is then retiring from the race with an engine failure. Porsche engine goes up in smoke, and we're down to 18 runners, and it's another safety car. So we're going to double stack at McLaren. We were catching Hamilton. Hamilton apparently has had a little bit of an issue according to my engineer. I'm not entirely sure what an issue. We're going to double stack at McLaren. Ricardo was catching us as well, with the tyre wear levels increasing. 2.8 second stop, a little bit of a hell, but so we should be out comfortably in second. Ricardo, I think, will probably get jumped by Russell, but you should be okay and come out in P4 as well. So safety is, we're going to bunch up, and now we're going to be right behind Lewis Hamilton now, who still leads this race then, behind the safety car. And all those one-stoppers, by the way, who were on the hard tyres, came in, so they have managed to do their one and only stop, 2 medium tyres under the safety car. The safety car comes in then at the end of lap 17, so we've got 9 laps left to go. Can we win this race against Hamilton? It will be a big margin in the championship if we do, and it might be championship over for Hamilton if we win this race. We'll have to wait and see. He's not bolted, so he's not. He hasn't caught us napping. He's bolted now, but there's the start-finish line. We're going to pull to the inside. We're going to left him space there, and that's going to allow Russell as well, opportunist as well, to get out the inside as well. We have the lead. George Russell up to P2. We dive down the inside. Again, Hamilton tried to keep his foot in and let go, and that allowed Russell, the opportunist, to get past him. Now Russell is all over the front of us. We don't technically need to win this race to get a position, and Hamilton is being hounded by Ricardo now, going ultra defensive Hamilton. So watching Lando Norris now, this head of the second train, he's on the hard tyres, where most of the people behind him, I believe, on mediums, who start on the hard. So Norris is starting to slow down with the hard tyres, not really performing for him. So we watch Max Verstappen. He's closing up to the other Porsche, Sergio Perez, but he's lost it. He's binned it. He's binned it, and his teammates clattered. And there's a pile up in the castle section, and surely that's going to be some sort of safety car, and it only was a virtual one. I mean, bring back red flags, Codemasters, because that was a huge crash. Both Red Bulls out. We're down to 15 runners, and now we've got Hamilton who's fixed his issues down the inside, and Hamilton is giving us front wing damage. We're going to dive down the inside and bang wheat tyres with him, but it was 3 wide into turn 1. Hamilton just pinched against us. A racing incident declared by the FIA. But it is his championship costing contact, it could be. And now you can see here Russell is sprinting away. Hamilton all over the back of us. Ricardo there. We've got to slow it down in time with an orange front wing. We're going to have to pit this lap, I'm afraid, because there's no way we're going to be able to limp to the end without binging it in the castle section. We've only managed to do it once, and we came off with a scare. So we're going to come in, we're going to pit for soft tyres, and we're going to have the fastest lap. This just because the others are quite some way behind with the pile up. But it's so frustrating that that contact happened. So into the pits we have to come again for a third stop. It's going to be P6. It's so frustrating. We just got to hope that Ricardo, who is ahead of Hamilton, can keep Hamilton ahead and limit the damage that Hamilton has caused us. 8.7 seconds stop doesn't really matter anyway, because we're not going to be catching Perez and co in the remaining laps. So out of the pits we come. We're going to be P6 because the rest of the field are quite some way behind, thanks to the Red Bull blockading the castle section. But this is your race leader then. George Russell leads. From Ricardo is in second. Hopefully we got Hamilton in third, with Van Dorn now in 4th position in the Mercedes. Hopefully Vandal will be able to pit behind them. We got Gasly up in 7th. Alonso is in the points for the first time this season, even though he has qualified in the top 10 a few times. Leclerc is in 9th place as well, and I believe one of the Dragons is having a massive train for 10th place, as this is the fastest lap for the extra point. Purple first sector, purple middle sector, and it's going to be a green last sector because of DRS and whatnot. 140.5, 2 seconds faster than everybody else, but it's not enough. And bad news, Ricciardo has lost out 2nd place to Lewis Hamilton. So when it rains, it pours really for us. I mean, the 6th is damage limitation, as I said, with 6th place. As we're watching now the battle for 10th place between Tsunoda and Schumacher. So this is some crucial points for those little teams at the bottom, and Schumacher blasts past Tsunoda as we watch now. George Russell. Well, at least Hamilton isn't going to win, because this is the man coming across the line for his first Grand Prix victory. George Russell wins in Baku. And we are going to come across the line for a disappointing and very frustrating P6. Yes, Perez P5. I would have loved to have Ricciardo. Shame that he couldn't kept Hamilton at bay in the end. Hamilton got some serious pace in that Mercedes. Gasly, Alonso, Leclerc and Schumacher, vital points for them in their fights at the lower ends of the championship. For us, it's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world thanks to our previous results, but obviously we can't afford too many more like this. Ocon fails to finish it. Sainz as well. 2-stop didn't work for him. I think he got cut out by the safety car. It's a shame because he was having a good race before then, and only finished P12. And then obviously the 2 Dragons and the 1 remaining Jaguar with the slowest cars on the grid. Their fastest laps in the 1 minute 46s, but of course the 1-stop is slower. You will set slower times on it. The 2 Red Bulls, I'm sure Christian Horner will having flashbacks to real life today, and of course what happened there. But our lead has been cut now. It's only 30 points, which is still enough, so we can afford to have 1 DNF and Hamilton to get a complete maximum, which is 28 points in this series. Vettel slips to P3 with his retirement as well. Perez and Ricciardo move up ahead as well, and big point, and Russell also moves up as well. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, it's very tight between Aston Martin and Mercedes. Nothing separating them, thanks to their tyre wear. I'm sure Mercedes, once they get those upgrades on the car, then they should be able to pull away and towards McLaren. We'll see if they can catch us in the remaining races. The only other change is Alpine, of course, with Alonso getting his first points of the season. He moves up into Alpine, move back ahead of Jaguar, which could be crucial in terms of monetary wise. And because Alonso scored points, only Valtteri Bottas has failed to score points in this series now. So yes, if you have enjoyed though, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. See plenty more episodes of the F1-E mod as and when they come out. We'll hopefully get back to winning ways the next race, Singapore. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.